Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the Day of Judgment and why it is important. And whoever denies it has denied justice, has denied goodness, has denied the transcendent values. I'm going to back it up, what I'm saying. So, I think yesterday, one of my videos, someone reacted to it, an atheist. He has been responding to a lot of my videos as well. He responded to one of it. When I have more time, I might do like a reaction to it, like responding to some of the claims that he made in that. But a lot of his followers, they come to my comment section and they talk a lot, knowing absolutely nothing what they're talking about. Like, most of them are naive at best, But I don't blame them. Like, most people are anyway. So we are going to talk about the Day of Judgment and why you have to believe in the Day of Judgment. You must believe in the Day of Judgment. And if you don't, what are the consequences? Okay. So, I said the Day of Judgment, whoever denies it is denying justice. What do I mean by that? So, take an example of, I think, Thucydides, in his history of the Peloponnesian War. He talked about the Melians, the Melos, the people on the island of Melos. They were literally annihilated. Okay, those people were actually killed unjustly. Okay, so even that word unjustly and topics about justice and goodness and the transcendent values, they will be meaningless without the Day of Judgment. That's my claim. Because Thucydides, even him, he pointed out that there is no such thing as justice. It's only nations pursuing their interests. That's called political realism. So you can go from a position of international relations to actually believing in God. And in that video, some of all those guys that came to my comment section, they're like, you cannot choose what you believe. And I said, you can. You can choose it. Okay? You can want to believe in something more than something else. So there are many aspects of belief. I didn't go deeper into it in that video, but belief is not just something that you are convinced of. It can be something that you really want. You want it to be true. And they think like it's absurd that why would you want something to be true? Then you're delusional. Okay, fine. I'm going to show you some examples now. So, believe in God is not just some kind of believe there's something that exists somewhere. There's some other reasons why people believe in God. Is multifaceted, cumulative. One of these is the topic of justice. And many other atheist philosophers, they know this. They talk about the idea that the weak people appeal to God. Do you know why? Because the weak people, injustice is done to them and they have no power to, to defend themselves. And they have to hope in something. They have to hope that justice will come somehow. So, imagine someone that goes to them and take away that hope that justice will be served. Okay, you would throw them into a position of, so what is the point of life then? If justice is not going to be served eventually. And how can justice be served if there's no Day of Judgment? You see, so immediately I can divide you into two. The people that injustice is being done to them and the people that no injustice is done to them. So let's say someone under occupation, someone being killed, that his whole entire tribe is being bombarded and massacred, and the other ones in a city where everything is safe. Both of them have different perspectives. The one that is under siege, under massacre, is going to hope that justice will be served somehow. Now he has to choose between believing in that and not believing in that. So he can choose. He can choose that. See, what is happening right now, I don't know how it's going to end, but there has to be a Day of Judgment. You will not get away with this. Someone can choose to believe in that. And now, in the international relations, you have two groups. You have the idealist and then you have the realist. The realist came out and just told us that there's nothing like justice, there's nothing like good and evil. All what is like the powerful win, the weak lose. That's what realism is. And the idealists, they are saying no, there's justice. You cannot just do whatever you like. There's justice, there's what is good and what is bad, and there are rules and there are things you shouldn't do. There's ought. Okay, that's the idealist position. So choose between the two. Reality that you guys always talk about. Don't have fancy fantasies and stuff. Do you know what reality is? Realism. So you better have power. If you don't have power, realism is going to crush you. So you will be like, oh, I'm fine with that. Okay, fine. But some of us are not. And that's the whole point. Some of us don't want that. We don't want to believe that reality is as it is. We want to believe in what transcends reality, the values, justice, things like that. So the day of judgment out there, to me, is the only way justice can be served, because the millions are dead and the entire nation was destroyed, settled, their children and women sold into slavery. They were literally destroyed, wiped off. So how are they going to get justice if there's no day of judgment? So it will be in the interest of the millions to believe in the day of judgment, or anyone that sympathizes with them. Because then if there's no day of judgment, it's a conditional. I'm saying, if there's no day of judgment, then there's no justice, and there's no talk of justice. If you want justice to be served, then you can believe. You can choose to believe, because you want justice, so you believe. This is how it works. So another thing I would like to point out is that on the issue, there are many difficult issues like this that really matters to people, that grounds their belief, like existentialism. I talked about existentialism. I talked about antinatalism. Those are very, very important issues. Why should you bring a child into this world? These guys, they laugh at it. They think it's a joke, but it's not. They don't understand this. They've not given it a thought. They've not given it much thought. And to be fair, it's not all theists that think about things deeply as well. So to me, this is just one of the reasons. If you want justice, you have to believe in God. You have to believe in the day of judgment, so that justice will be served. If there's no God and there's no day of judgment, there won't be justice. And any justice talk is rubbish. If you're weak, just die. Die. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyone can just take advantage of you, and it's just reality. Nature. That's what nature is. Like, take it like a champ. So this is one of the reasons why people believe. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm making a claim. Some people will choose to believe because they don't want the quote-unquote reality of there not being justice and goodness and evil, where there's no demarcation between good and evil. Some people want there to be good and evil. See? So when Nietzsche talked about beyond good and evil, some people don't want that. So you either believe in beyond good and evil, or you believe in good and evil. And funny enough, most of the videos that he has reacted to, I've talked about the atheist talking about evil, right? I've talked about that. He reacted to that. I've talked about existentialism. I've talked about antinatalism. Those are the issues that I think I can use to engage with most of these atheists. Okay? It's not just, hey, does God exist? I don't see any God. That's not why people believe in God. Okay? If you don't understand that, maybe you should start thinking about it now. That's why. And funny enough, some people think I'm forcing them. I'm trying to get them to believe. I'm saying it is in your interest. It is in your interest, if you're someone that believes in justice, to believe. How about that? Like, maybe it is not in your own interest for justice to be true. Then you don't need to believe. It's as simple as that. And eventually, the ones that believe in justice, they will continue to meaningfully talk about justice. And the ones that don't, they have no part in talking about it. And that's the first video I made about evil, that stop talking about evil, atheists, about problem of evil and all this rubbish. That's the first video. But anyway, I get their point sometimes. But the point I'm making is that here is a reason to believe, and here is how you can choose, and it justifies why I made that video. You have a position between justice not existing and justice existing. You believe in justice. There is no evidence. There's nothing like, where's the evidence for it? What evidence am I supposed to show you other than I want it to be true that there is justice? What evidence do you want to see other than I show you a baby being bumped, a family, innocent family, being killed by some evil person. What other evidence do you want to see other than that? And me, I said, after that happens, I said, God will hold him accountable. There will be a day of judgment where these people will receive their justice. You want to deny that because you don't think you can see it now? I say, I believe it, that it will happen in the future. There will be justice in the future. There is a God that is watching all of this, that will hold each person accountable. That is simply what belief is. Okay, I hope this clarifies some issues, but I can go on and on. There are many topics. It was funny. They think I let them go. Like, I'm just watching you because sometimes, like, some people are actually very vulnerable, but they think they are strong. They've not given issues thoughts, and you don't want to push some people over. If you push them over the line, they might harm themselves. There was a guy who was talking about antinatalism and the issue of suicide with him. And I got scared that if I continue talking to him about this issue, he might actually go and kill himself. So you need to back off a little bit from people. They think they know reality. That's another fantasy, another myth that they believe in. They think there's something called reality, that they have access to it. As long as you deny God, or as long as you're an atheist, you are somehow know reality now. They talk about reality a lot. Like, I don't want to believe in fantasies. Bro, you don't want to believe in fantasies and you're still alive. What is your justification for not committing suicide right now? Whatever you say, whatever justification, I'm not saying you don't have justification. Whatever justification you give is a mythology, is a fantasy, is your hope, is your belief. You don't want to die. You want to live. So you choose life over death. There is no objectivity in choosing either of them, other than you want one more than the other. So what is the evidence? The evidence is, I want it. You see? Anyway, let me see what you guys think about this in the comment section. See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.